has been the epicenter of a huge political tsunami that swept the capital earlier this month. A new tsunami wave that threw up a third alternative for Delhi citizens, creating a groundswell of support for the Aam Aadmi party. Not only did it shake the old political equations in the city, but in fact, new ones were forged as well. But the road to Aam Aadmi party's government formation has been far from the ordinary. Did it not only have that controversial post-poll referendum, but also creating a political understanding with the very same party that it had grown accustomed to attacking on charges of corruption. So, is there more to this tie-up than meets the eye?
The 2 tumultuous weeks in Delhi that left everyone guessing. The 8th of December, a sweeping statement made by the debutants in the national capital, leaving political parties and pundits stunned.
Kejriwal, 15,000 वोटों से मेरी जीत नहीं है, ये नई दिल्ली विधानसभा के लोगों की जीत है.
December 13th, a sudden capital twist with the Congress offering support to the Aam Aadmi party as the BJP shied away from forming the government.
If Aam Aadmi party is ready to form the government, we will extend support from outside.
23rd of December, the impossible soon turned to reality. India witnessed history as an 8-month-old party forged ahead to form the government in Delhi.
इन लोगों ने पहले चैलेंज किया था चुनाव लड़के दिखाओ, चुनाव भी लड़ा. अभी कह रहे हैं कि आम आदमी गवर्न नहीं कर सकता. आम आदमी के अंदर तो बहुत ताकत है. आम आदमी गवर्न करके दिखाए.
26th of December, political frenzy hitting top note as the Aam Aadmi party inched towards government formation. Even as hostilities were exchanged, there seemed more to this Congress support to the Aam Aadmi party than what meets the eye.
What they have promised, we hope they will fulfill it. It will be based on that. It's not unconditional, it will be performance based.
जो काम करेंगे हम जनता के साथ मिलकर करेंगे. इस जनतंत्र को सच्चा जनतंत्र बनाएंगे. By the people, of the people, for the people.
But is it really so simple? And who's calling whose bluff? Is it the Congress which claims that by giving Kejriwal a shot at power, it will prove that its promises were really unrealistic? From 700 litres of water to discounted power rates to the Jan Lokpal bill? Or is it Kejriwal who says that if the Congress now withdraws support, they would be exposed in front of Delhi's electorate? In the midst of all of this apparent lack of trust, is there a larger political strategy? A strategy of mutual benefit and cooperation.
Intriguing capital maneuvers forming the crux of televised national debates. Congress and the Aam Aadmi party sticking to their usual studied statements.
Let's give them time. I mean, you take my personal opinion of many people, or individually what one knows about the government or not. We have our own perception of what they have said in their promises and whether or not they will be implemented or not. But give them a chance. They have asked for 3 months, 2 to 3 months to do almost everything that they have spoken about. Although they have now started making their own guarded statements that any, let me put this word with a lot of reason, which they themselves call as wily politicians start using. And they've started using it themselves when they've said that we've got 5 years to implement. We will see what is possible. If you see their regional manifestos, their local manifestos, all the manifestos make a string of promises. And at the end of it say, it will all depend on the resource availability. And if ultimately it all depends on resource availability and practicality, then what are you making any promises for?
हम सरकार बनाना चाहते हैं, लेकिन हम बंद कमरे में बैठ के किसी पार्टी के साथ समझौता करके या समर्थन मांग के या उसका समर्थन लेके सरकार नहीं बनाएंगे. हमने कहा मुद्दों पे सरकार बनेगी, समर्थन से नहीं बनेगी. किसी का अनकंडीशनल सपोर्ट, किसी का कंस्ट्रक्टिव सपोर्ट, इससे सरकार नहीं बनेगी. मुद्दे पे बनेगी. लोकपाल बनाना है, बताओ जी लोकपाल बना सकते हो, सरकार बना लेंगे. पानी के दाम सस्ते करने, बिजली के दाम सस्ते करने, बताओ जी हम करने को तैयार हैं, हम साथ देने को तैयार हैं, सस्ते कर लेंगे.
Congress support coming despite the looming threat of several cases being lodged against its leaders on charges of corruption.
I know that they have been making all kinds of noises about, taking on the Congress and starting all kinds of cases against our former leaders. But, end of day, I think the people of Delhi will watch the performance of the AAP party very carefully. So will we. We're going to, we want to make sure that there's no corruption in the AAP party, that they do not end up doing things that are against the processes of governance. So I think end of the day is about the proof of the pudding is in the eating, and now it's important for the AAP party to now perform, and instead of just making tall claims and tall talk.
We are seeing a political tit for tat kind of a situation. Like आप हमें इंक्वायर करेंगे तो हम भी आपको इंक्वायर करेंगे.
ये हमारा पहले दिन से एजेंडा था. हमने पहले दिन से कहा, हमें थोड़ी पता था कि आज के दिन ऐसी स्थिति आ जाएगी. हमें तो ये पता था हमारी सरकार आएगी, हम पूरे बहुमत के साथ आएंगे. हमको तो ये विश्वास था. तो हमारा पहले दिन से ये एजेंडा है कि अगर हम सरकार में आए तो पीछे होने वाले सारे भ्रष्टाचार की हम कानूनी जांच कराएंगे, हम उसकी जांच समितियां बनाएंगे. अब वो कांग्रेस अगर हमारे खातों की जांच कर रही है तो पहले भी कबीर की कर चुकी है, मेरी इनकम टैक्स में जांच हो चुकी है, अरविंद की जांच हो चुकी है. हम तो सरकार को आमंत्रित कर रहे हैं कि भाजपा कांग्रेस जहां जहां उनकी सरकारें और जहां जहां हमारे लोग हों वहां डेली बेसिस पे जांच करें हमारी.
Political observers seek to scratch beyond the surface, trying to understand the larger political game behind the Congress move.
The game here is precisely to say it's not as much an anti-incumbency vote, but let's get together and keep the BJP out of power. Congress's strategy number 2, if it doesn't by itself succeed in being the main party that keeps the BJP out of power, would be to support a coalition that can keep the BJP out of power from the outside. So keep the BJP out of power, that's Congress's motto number 1, even if it has to play second fiddle to the third front. So the Congress, therefore, this could be the larger story, that the Congress ends up supporting enemies of the BJP.
The BJP feels that projection of Arvind Kejriwal as the Chief Minister of Delhi with support from the Congress is somewhere or the other to take the steam out of BJP as well as Narendra Modi's campaign across the country. Even though admitting this fact, the BJP feels that this effort is waste as state as well as General Assembly elections are completely different.
Even as the results poured in on the 8th of December, it seemed to be a victory for Narendra Modi and the BJP in the capital. The BJP's prime ministerial candidate stole the thunder with a win in 3 other states and a marginal lead in Delhi. Was the Congress desperate to keep the BJP out?
Remember that we won elections in Delhi 3 times in a row. Agreed, we lost, and we lost very comprehensively in this election. But in politics, that's part of life. We are very confident that come the next elections, whenever it is held, we'll be more than ready. So, we don't have to work on propping up anybody, etc. I mean, Delhi has been a very strong Congress bastion. Don't forget, we have 7 MPs who won seats in the Lok Sabha elections in 2009. So for 2014, we're going to be very buoyant and extremely confident. We look forward to the future. And I think this arrangement has to be looked at as purely as a one-off support to the AAP party.
The assembly election was not about Modi. Lok Sabha election is about Modi. Yes. And that is why I say that it was not reflection on Modi's leadership, or it was about Delhi election. So every state had a different dynamics. Modi helped out with vigorous campaign and people support him. Even the Aam Aadmi party, every candidate or whoever gone to houses has said that for assembly you give us a chance, you may think of Modi afterwards. But Modi will not be the chief minister here in Delhi. So help Kejriwal. So that was their pet argument every day. So that is what people always vote differently for different elections. That's the truth of the democratic India.
Delhi's BJP in charge, Dr. Harshvardhan, cutting a sorry picture. It was as if life was sucked out of the BJP. Congress's strategy seemed to have worked, at least on that count.
For us, getting into the seat of power is not the ultimate goal or the aim. And that's why we have always focused on our karma, its purity. And I never bother about the result. So I sometimes feel that when I meet people, I feel that those people are sometimes a little sad that why we couldn't get into that seat of power. But at least I'm not worried about it. I am as happy as I was earlier.
In the meanwhile, Arvind Kejriwal was in the spotlight like never before. More and more questions seemed to be posed to his party on its extravagant promises. A stretched Kejriwal suddenly sounding practical. A far cry from his usual agitational best.
मैं मानता हूँ समस्याएं बहुत सारी हैं, अभी कई लोगों के हाथ ऊपर उठे हुए हैं, हाथ रह गए हैं, तो एक बारी जब अंदर जाएंगे, ऐसा नहीं कि हमारे पास कोई जादू की छड़ी है एक साथ सारे हो जाएंगे, लेकिन सारे मिलके करेंगे। हम बंद कमरे में बैठ के नहीं करेंगे, आपके बीच में ही आया करूंगा और सारे मिलके समस्याओं का समाधान निकालेंगे।
So what really is the strategy behind the Congress positioning itself in the way it has vis-a-vis AAP? Is there a larger national political agenda? Well, initially when they extended the unconditional support, there were statements that they want to keep communal forces at bay. So is that what it's all about? To keep the Bharatiya Janata Party out, create someone else who could help them do that?
End of day, I think there are majority of the parties in India, at least at the national level, are all secular. There are parties, of course, which have, and especially the Bharatiya Janata Party, which has a very clear, I think it's their ideology is unambiguously having a communal tinge. Now, we don't know what way the AAP party really thinks in terms of the larger issues of secularism, etc. But at least to begin with, they seem to have an ideology that doesn't seem to marginalize sections of society based on identity.
The party claiming to be different wants to usher in a new school of politics which they profess. They seem unperturbed on the face of it, whether they have the support or not.
तो आम आदमी पार्टी के लिए नरेंद्र मोदी, राहुल गांधी, अरविंद केजरीवाल मुद्दे ही नहीं है। कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता इन तीनों में से कौन आगे राष्ट्र का नेता बने, कौन आगे जाए। नरेंद्र मोदी जाए बहुत अच्छी बात है, राहुल गांधी जाए बहुत अच्छी बात है। हमारे लिए इशू महत्वपूर्ण है कि जन लोकपाल पास ना कराने पर दोनों एक हैं, दोनों अपनी आमदनी को आरटीआई के नीचे नहीं लाएंगे, दोनों एक हैं। डीक्रिमिनलाइजेशन ऑफ पार्टीज नहीं करेंगे, टिकट देंगे, दोनों एक हैं।
And in a sense, the sharp words that Arvind Kejriwal has used against the Congress party leaves nobody in doubt that Arvind Kejriwal is not playing second fiddle to the Congress. He's saying, okay, I'll come up. If we are a party with an agenda, if the agenda was what we tried to drive around from the streets outside the Sansad Bhavan in December 2011, we are now inside a small assembly, albeit of a limited state called Delhi, and now we'll try and drive the agenda from inside an assembly.
Mumbai in the early 60s saw the Congress struggling to deal with the left-led trade union movement. Experts believe that it was the ruling Congress that nurtured the Shiv Sena for 2 long decades from the mid-60s to the mid-80s. In the first half, of course, the support was given to the Shiv Sena to try and break into the communist hold over the trade unions in Mumbai, while in the later part, the support was there to try and deal with the internal factionalism within the Congress.
Is there a striking similarity of what happened in Mumbai in the 60s to what is happening in Delhi? We asked the analysts.
Congress used Balasaheb against Datta Samant's trade union movement, and Balasaheb Thackeray was at that time trying to expand the base of Shiv Sena and trying to expand because he saw that only single point program of Marathi Manus is not adequate for Shiv Sena to grow further. So that was an opportune time for Shiv Sena also to enter in a big way into textile strike and make their inroads, not only in textile strike, but they also made inroads into many other corporate entities like Mahindra and Mahindra and set that trade union units there and try to expand their, which they gain.
You can also try and say that this was like the support to Kashiram. Yes, here is a man who's leading a movement, he's got a strong personality, who's using strong words for the Congress. The support of the Congress, therefore, cannot be anything else but tactical. Here is a man who's used words like Congress party, Badmash party hai, Shaitano ki party hai. And if even in the face of hard words of this kind, the Congress is forced to lend a support to Kejriwal, it seems that they A, cannot project to people any longer that they oppose the agenda of Kejriwal, and B, there is some certain thinking about strategy and tactics.
Kejriwal's Aam Aadmi Party dismissive of suggestions that it is in the limelight due to the Congress. They believe they have earned their political space in the capital.
इस देश में आंदोलन क्या चला? इस देश में आंदोलन चला इंडिया अगेंस्ट करप्शन। भाजपा ने कोशिश की कि इसको इंडिया अगेंस्ट कांग्रेस बना दो, लेकिन दिल्ली ने बनने नहीं दिया। दिल्ली में 4 मिनिस्टर हारे और चीफ मिनिस्टर हारी। इनको किसने हराया? आश्चर्य की बात है कि ये सारे आम आदमी पार्टी के प्रत्याशियों ने हराया, भाजपा ने नहीं हराया। लोग राजकुमार चौहान से नाराज हैं, लेकिन वो भाजपा वालों आपके प्रत्याशी को नहीं जिताना चाहते। वो राखी बिड़ला 26 साल की लड़की है, उसे जिताना चाहते हैं। लोग बाग शीला दीक्षित से नाराज हैं, लेकिन वो पुराने लीडर विजेंद्र गुप्ता को नहीं जिताना चाहते। विजेंद्र गुप्ता और शीला दीक्षित को मिलाकर जितने वोट मिले, अरविंद केजरीवाल को उससे ज्यादा वोट मिले। लोग मंत्रियों से नाराज थे, लेकिन लोगों ने भाजपा नहीं जिताई उन सीटों पर, आम आदमी पार्टी जिताई। इसका मतलब आंदोलन आज भी इंडिया अगेंस्ट करप्शन है।
Delhi Congress workers protesting at their local party office, expressing their anger at the tie-up with the Aam Aadmi Party and the language used by some of their leaders. Meanwhile, outside another Congress MLA's residence, late-night threats being issued by these unrecognized persons in the dead of the night. Signs that all is not well with the party's Delhi unit.
पार्टी में एक राय यह भी है कि समर्थन का निर्णय शायद इस रूप में उचित नहीं था। कुछ लोग महसूस करते हैं, ये सही है आपकी बात। उसके पीछे तर्क ये है कि दिल्ली के मतदाता ने कांग्रेस का समर्थन नहीं किया और इस सीमा तक नहीं किया कि विपक्ष का नेता भी हमारा नहीं होगा। हम तीसरे नंबर पर चले गए। तो कांग्रेस के लिए शायद ये उचित होता कि कहते कि भाई सरकार बनाने या न बनाने की जिम्मेदारी हमारी तो है नहीं, मतदाता की हमसे ये अपेक्षा नहीं है। जिसे सरकार बनाना हो बनाए, जिसके समर्थन से बनाना हो बनाए, जिसके साथ मिलजुल करके बनाना हो बनाए। हम सीमित स्थिति में विपक्ष की भूमिका अदा करते रहेंगे।
Even though the Congress's top brass may have decided to extend support to the Aam Aadmi Party, the biggest pressure that it faces to this alliance is from its own party workers, from protests outside the Congress office in Delhi to its own MLAs who've been threatened in the middle of the night for this decision. All these are clear indications of how much pride the party has had to swallow for its larger political objective.
For now, Kejriwal has taken oath as the youngest Chief Minister of Delhi. But the fight has already begun with the Aam Aadmi Party promising probe on corruption and centre probing the Aam Aadmi Party funds.
अभी जो शपथ ली गई है, ये अरविंद केजरीवाल ने शपथ नहीं ली, इन 6 मंत्रियों ने शपथ नहीं ली। आज दिल्ली के हर नागरिक ने मुख्यमंत्री की और मंत्री की शपथ ली है। आज आम आदमी की जीत हुई है। दिल्ली के लोगों ने इस बार दिल्ली विधानसभा के चुनावों में दिल्ली के लोगों ने दिखा दिया कि ईमानदारी से भी राजनीति की जा सकती है, ईमानदारी से चुनाव लड़े जा सकते हैं और ईमानदारी से चुनाव जीते जा सकते हैं। दोस्तों अब हम लोगों को दिल्ली एक साथ मिलकर चलानी पड़ेगी। अब सरकार ये 7 मंत्री नहीं चलाएंगे, सरकार कुछ अफसर नहीं चलाएंगे, सरकार कुछ पुलिस वाले नहीं चलाएंगे। अब हम ऐसी व्यवस्था कायम करेंगे दिल्ली के अंदर कि 1.5 करोड़ लोग मिलकर सरकार बनाएंगे और 1.5 करोड़ लोग मिलकर सरकार चलाएंगे।
The next few days will reveal whether the fight is staged or not.